shout out and a thank you to my sponsor, P2 Collectibles, located at 204 East McGalliard Road in Muncie and on eBay as well. So next time you're here in Muncie, let us know. Come give us a visit. Hey, what is up, y'all? This is Alex from Plus3 TCG, and I'm coming at y'all with a deck opening. Today we're going to be looking at the much hyped Wave of Light structure deck, essentially just a counter-vary support structure deck, and it's got a lot of cool cards in it. I've been looking forward to this because I've been getting into a lot more control-based decks lately, less combo-y stuff, and like I was saying, more control-based, and this was something that I was very much so interested in. Shout out to Paul for hooking me up with the Wave of Light structure deck. And yeah, we're just gonna hop right into it. For the most part, everyone knows what is in here, considering that the deck list is on the back of the box. But for those of you who don't know, we are going to be looking at it for the first time. So here is in its shiny package. Very nice. I always wish that they put these, or they put the like the better mats in some of these. Like they sold the structure decks, and they sold like ultimate structure deck packs where you could get a cloth mat or a rubber mat like that. And then of course we have our beginner's guide rulebook. So our first card is Eva. This is pretty much not like a super great card. It is just a cool extender, not even like a superior extender or anything. It's just a regular extender that you need a lot of cards to set up for. So you're probably only going to be playing one of these if you're going to be playing the budget version, or even if you're playing the real version, you might not even play this card. But it allows you to manipulate your grave for those Christia summons. So there's our Eva. We have Sacred Arch-Knight Parshoth. A Sacred Arch-Airknight Parshoth. If you activate a counter trap, or if you negate the activation of a spell, trap card, or a monster effect, you can banish 2 other fairy monsters from your hand, field, or graveyard. Special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when you activated or negated, or hand, even if not. If this card attacks, essentially it's all the Parshoth effect. They do piercing battle damage, but if you do damage, when it inflicts the battle damage, you can add 1 Parshoth card or a counter trap from your deck to your hand. So this is just the best Parshoth of all. It's your boss monster, but you're probably only gonna play 1 or 2 of. Power Angel Valkyrie. If you negate the activation of a spell, trap, monster effect, add 1 light fairy monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Hard once per turn, but you're probably gonna be playing 3 of this. This is one of the best cards in the deck. Also, same thing, the Sanctum of Parshoth, really good card, because it becomes Sanctuary in the sky. It's not searchable, but it's all good because while on the field or graveyard, it's Sanctuary in the sky. And then fairy monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. Set spell traps cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects, and once per turn you can target a total of 3 fairy monsters and or counter traps with different names in your graveyard. Place them on top of your deck in any order. So it really allows you to extend and allows you to have a next turn. Rebirth of Parshoth. This is the new one. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, reveal 1 counter trap card in your hand, then discard 1 card, pay 1,000 life points, and negate the activation. If you do, shuffle that card into the deck. Then you can special summon 1 Parshoth monster from your deck or extra deck. Now we're not playing obviously an extra deck in this, but we are playing Ariadne in here, and Ariadne, as we all know, is a pendulum monster that goes to the extra deck when it leaves the field. So you just get to summon that for not free, I guess for free, because you get to negate a card. So it's essentially a +1 there, and then if it gets destroyed, you get to search another counter trap. And Minerva, Scholar of the Sky. For the most part, I think everything else is not new. Oh, there we go. Each time a counter trap card is activated immediately after it resolves, gain 500, and if it does, the Sanctuary in the sky, and if the Sanctuary in the sky is on the field, add a counter trap with a different name from your graveyard to your hand. So just more extenders. Neo Parshoth the Paladin. You can special this card from your hand by attributing 1 Airknight Parshoth. So as you can see, this is like less effective because you have to get rid of a card that is probably getting you some advantage. And then it does piercing and all that good stuff. And if you do, you get to draw. So you're probably not playing a ton of these, but it does, I can imagine, help. Airknight Parsha, this one you're probably not going to be playing much of because you can special summon it, I guess, but with Valhalla or Celestial, but it's less than advantageous. This one you might be playing more of because it is a easy normal summon. And each time a counter trap is activated, immediately after it resolves, gain 1,000 life points. And if you have Sanctuary in the sky, is on the field, destroy one card your opponent controls. And that's good because it's not targeting. Harvest Angel of Wisdom. This is less than, you're not playing any of these just because it has to be destroyed by battle. Bountiful Artemis. This is a potential play because each time a counter trap is activated, you get to draw a card, which is good. Layard, yeah, sorry. The Liberator. Each time a counter trap card is activated immediately after it resolves, add 2 of your banished fairy monsters to your hand. So you're really not playing this because you have to normal summon it, and it's not really doing much for you other than adding stuff back to your hand. Guiding Ariadne, this is a really good card. Obviously, you're playing this for sure in the deck at 2 or 3 because while it's in the scale, you don't have to pay cost pretty much. You don't have to activate, or you don't have to pay life points or discard to activate counter trap cards. And if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can reveal 3 counter trap cards in your deck. Opponent picks one, you add the other one to your hand. Christia, this one for sure is a one of because you're really not trying to open multiples because it's very bricky, but when you do, when and if you get this off, it usually seals the game because preventing your opponent from special summoning with all these counter trap cards to back a Christie up is pretty good. Splendid Venus is alright. It's hard to summon. All non-fairy monsters lose 500 attack and the activation effects of spell trap cards activated on your field cannot be negated, so that's cool. So somehow you can get this, Christia, and a bunch of traps. I guess you should be winning the game. But this is really hard to make. Athena, if another fairy monster is summoned, inflict 600 damage to your opponent. Once per turn, you can send one face-up fairy monster you control to the graveyard, then target one fairy monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. But you have to somehow summon this card, and it's kind of big. Tethys, this one's pretty cool because when you draw a fairy monster, you can reveal one of those monsters and draw one more card. This card must be face up on the field though to be activated, so it's cool, but it's kind of big. Hecatrite, well, by big I mean high level, so it's harder to summon. And then Hecatrite just allows you to add that Valhalla. Everything else is fairly standard. Jellin Duo, pretty cool card. Nova Summoner, you get stuff with this. Honest, you're probably playing this at 2 of if you're going to be playing like the budget version or something. I'll be doing a deck profile later on, so we'll see how that works out. Herald of the Orange Light, good card, but I don't think it's as necessary because you have so many hand traps. Or not hand traps, you have so many real counter traps that are negating stuff that I don't think monster effects are as relevant, but I do think these are a little more relevant. Herald of Green Light, because this negates your spells, and then this negates your traps, so I think these might be relevant in the budget version. Guiding Light, when this card is normal summon, you can target a level 1 light monster in your grave, special summon that target. Really not necessary to play this card. DD Sprite, also not necessary. You special this card from your hand, banish one face of monster you control, so not crazy good. Hanawada, also not very good, because it's kind of a cool hand trap. The Sanctuary in the Sky, this one you're trying to get out. If you're not trying to get that out, you're trying to get the other one out, the Sanctum of Parsha, because it is a Sanctuary in the Sky, while face up on the field. Card from Sky, man, these are brand new cards. Look at this, I'll probably set this down. Nope, cool, stuck finally. Banish one light fairy monster in your hand, and if you do, draw 2 cards, so that's kind of cool. Special Transformation, this is allowing you to special summon fairies from your hand. Same with Valhalla, it's a cool extension from your hand. And then this is the card everybody was hyped about, Ties of the Brethren. We all get a reprint now, everyone gets Ties of the Brethren. So that's a cool reprint. If you don't know what this does, you pay 2,000 life points, target a level 4 or lower monster you control, and then for the rest of the turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters. Also, special summon 2 monsters from your deck with the same type and attribute and level as that monster, but with different names. I mean, you can't connect your battle phase either, but this is just getting out your main cards of the deck. And if you also already have your main cards of the deck, this can get you out like Honest and things of that nature. Light of Judgment, this card's pretty cool. Sorry. Discard one light monster to the graveyard, and then you apply one of these. You look at your opponent's hand, discard a card, or you can send one card from your opponent controls to the graveyard. So that's cool, but not as relevant. Miraculous Descent, also cool, but not as relevant. Target one of your banished fairy monsters. Special summon it. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. It's pretty much just like a pseudo Call of the Haunted. Synthetic Seraphim? I'm not really sure what this card does. Each time a counter trap is activated immediately after it resolves, special summon one. Okay, so it special summons tokens. A little irrelevant. These are the relevant cards. Divine Punishment. This is pretty much your Solemn Judgment for the deck. If you control a Sanctuary in the Sky, you just negate anything except summons. Dark Bribe. We all know what Dark Bribe does. Solemn Warning. It's great because you don't have to pay the cost with this card. Same thing with Ultimate Providence. If you have a Guiding Ariadne, this is pretty much negating everything. Drastic Drop Off. This one probably you might play just because when your opponent adds cards from their deck to their hand, they have to discard one of those cards. So I guess that's potentially good, but I don't think this is going to be played. Recall is pretty cool because when your opponent activates a monster effect, your opponent draws one card, also negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Cool, but I don't know. The fact that they have to draw a card is pretty crappy in my opinion. Not crappy, but less than ideal. And then we have our one cool token. That is the structure deck, y'all. Let me know if you want to see a more competitive version of this. I will be doing a regular build out of the 3 structure decks here soon, and I will have that up as soon as possible. This is Alex on +3 TCG signing out, y'all.